Hello everyone, welcome to the KZGN News. Today we'll bring you news from the city on issues concerning the new sewer plant, the downstreet widening construction project, news from China Lake, gas prices, and much more.
From the Rademacher Hills to Bee Mountain and the mighty Sierras, Ridgecrest to Inyokern and China Lake, this is your news for the Indian Wells Valley with the KZGN News crew.
Thanks for joining us for the news. I'm Tom Whitnick. Here's news affecting Ridgecrest and the Indian Wells Valley. We start with a quick press release from the Ridgecrest Police Department. On August 21st at about 1 a.m., the Ridgecrest Police Department investigated thefts of mail from homes in the area of West Mariposa and South Sanders Street. The possible suspects are described as a black male adult wearing a maroon shirt and a hat, a black female adult, tall, and a white male adult with shorts, hat, and blue shirt. They were last seen walking north in the 600 block of South Sanders Street. The police department is asking for help in identifying these subjects. Please call 499-5100 with any information you may have. The police department would like to remind you that you need to check your mail daily. If you are away from home, have a friend or relative check the mail for you. Again, call the police department if you see any suspicious activities. Call 760-499-5100 or in emergency, of course, dial 911. Working together, we can fight crime. In city news, yesterday the City Council Infrastructure Committee met at City Hall at 5 p.m. The committee was attended by Councilman Mike Maurer and 2 planning commissioners. Mayor Pro Tem Jim Sanders was absent as he was at a Kerncog meeting in Bakersfield. I might add that the meeting was well attended by the public, and a lot of input from the public was provided. That was good to see. The items on their agenda for discussion were: first, left turn yellow yields at traffic lights; second, update on the new sewer plant; third, gray water usage; and fourth, update on the downstreet widening project. Concerning the first topic, left turn yield lights at intersections, this topic was requested by Jim Sanders. City manager gave a lengthy report and analysis of bringing this to Ridgecrest. He stated that all other states of the lower 48 use left turn yellows in some capacities. After Dennis's report, the committee decided to table the idea for now, as not practical to make the changes now. They feared causing confusion for the driving public, and then there would be the cost of having to change all the lights in the city at the same time, and also get Caltrans to change all of their lights at the same time as well. The second agenda item was a report about the sewer plant designs. This topic had a lot of discussion from the committee and the public attending. City Manager Dennis Spear summarized the whole item that in October the council was going to receive 2 proposals at the 30% completion position. There are 2 options being considered: a new facility on the base or a new facility in the city out on Conline Road. Also, the plans will be in the nature of just plant replacement with the current capabilities, and a second proposal providing tertiary treatment plants. The cost estimate difference between the 2 types of plants are huge. A replacement plant is currently estimated to cost about $45 million. A tertiary plant option is estimated at $70 million. To even consider building a tertiary plant, the state recommends that a city have a potential buyer on board to purchase the water before the plant is built. The third item discussed was the idea of changing the city building codes to allow and encourage new home construction to include gray watering systems. This was discussed at length. The city engineer presented 2 resolution options. One would change the code to make it voluntary, and one mandatory. After a lot of discussions, pro and con, the idea was tabled and will wait for more details at another time. The conflict in making a decision is that they have to consider the state's mandate for the city to reduce water usage, which a gray water system can help, and then compare that to the effect it can have on the design of the new sewer facility. If we reduce water flows into the sewer facility, it can and will probably affect the actual design of the new facility and whether or not tertiary treatment is feasible. And the last item they discussed was the Downs Road widening project. The city engineer informed the committee that they actually do now have 100% complete construction plans. While the funds are not yet available, the committee approved a plan for construction. This includes dealing with SCE and their transmission lines which are in the way. There is still a debate over whether SCE lines will be just moved or put underground. Undergrounding would likely take 3 years to complete, which the committee and the public found in an outrageous amount of time. Waiting 3 years is not acceptable. The committee accepted staff's recommendation to notify SCE now that they need to move their poles out of the way and into the new easement provided in the city's construction plans. The order to move comes now, as it will take a long time for SCE to actually move the poles. And by the time they do move them, the city should be funded and ready for construction. The city manager and city engineer said the notice to SCE will go out as soon as possible. Now here's a story on how Sacramento decisions affect cities by the way they shift funds from intended purposes to their pet project purposes. Senator Richard Roth contextualized the political landscape for an ongoing issue in his 31st district. His district contains northwestern Riverside County, which is the epicenter for the issue at hand. In recent years, some new cities have incorporated in the area Senator Roth represents and have hit a nasty funding obstacle. And the possible solution for these cities will likely affect Ridgecrest. He describes the problem as such. Historically, new cities receive vehicle license fee revenue in lieu of property tax revenue. These 4 new cities incorporated with the understanding that VLF revenue would be available to them. Unfortunately, as many of us know, Sacramento changed the rules and redirected VLF money to public safety realignment for state use, not city use. Jurupa Valley, Menifee, Eastvale, and Wildomar are the 4 recently incorporated cities. Jurupa Valley is a prime example of the problem at hand when the city saw its budget shrink by 46% due to the funding shift. Senator Roth has tried to remedy this during each of the last 3 legislative sessions, but despite bipartisan support in the legislature, Governor Brown vetoed each of the efforts. However, relief may be in sight for the cities in the form of AB 113. But Roth points out other language in the bill as problematic. The bill would also complete the dissolution of some 400 California redevelopment agencies. Senator Roth notes that this dissolution process has been ongoing. Ultimately, Senator Roth supports the bill as it brings needed aid to cities in his constituency, but he fears that the redevelopment agencies being axed, something the League of California Cities has circled as reason enough to oppose the whole thing, might lead to enough mobilization from other affected cities to kill AB 113. This is of concern to the city of Ridgecrest as well. The city is still in court with the state over some project funding started under the now defunct local RDA. This bill would affect how all things turn out. Ridgecrest still has millions of dollars at risk, so the saga continues. Money shifts from intended uses to other uses. Then they come back again and ask us to approve more tax increases to fund the items they shifted the existing funds away from for their other projects that a majority of people would never support a tax increase for. The senator emphasizes and expresses a willingness to work with the LCC, but remains vigilant for his communities. He says, "I believe the right choice for our region is to vote for this fix that will allow California's 4 newest cities to survive and live another day." AB 113 passed the Assembly floor with a 51-27 vote and is currently making its senatorial committee rounds. Now stay tuned for news from the Naval Air Weapons Station when we come back. Thanks for staying with us. Now in news from the Naval Air Weapons Station at China Lake, we get the following stories. First, in a story submitted by Kimberly Brown and Brian Wolfcoat of the NOC-WD Public Affairs Office, we hear the support teams at NOC-WD celebrated F-35 Battle Ready declaration following 2 decades rife with anticipation. The F-35 is decidedly up, flying, and declared war ready by the U.S. Marine Corps, causing teams across Naval Air Weapons Center Weapons Division to celebrate as their contributions to the airplane prepares to enter the arena. The F-35B Lightning Joint Strike Fighter was given initial operational capability status after the baseline requirement of 10 aircraft was considered ready on July 31st. The following week, the F-35 team at NOC-WD took what Captain Dana Dewey, Director of Program Control for the F-35 Lightning II Joint Program Office, called a much-deserved moment to reflect. It's a huge milestone for a program that's been in development for more than 2 decades. Dewey said that we now have the first baseline warfighting capability in the hands of the warfighter is a big deal. Dewey noted that NOC-WD teams at Point Mugu and China Lake have been instrumental in ensuring successful delivery of the first F-35s to the Marines, enabling them to properly equip, train, and operate the 10 aircraft. The window for delivery was set for sometime between July and December of 2015. Dewey said, "The fact that the team was able to deliver that capability at the front end of the window, essentially meeting our objective 5 months prior to the end date, is huge." He added, "It's a pretty tremendous accomplishment, and you should be proud of your work." Mark Haas, F-35 Program Site Director for NOC-WD, praised the team and noted that they have played a significant role in mission and weapon systems development on the engineering side. NOC-WD also supported numerous systems and flight tests on its 3 ranges. Then there's the reprogramming team, which includes a Navy team at Eglin Air Force Base, Haas said. There has been great cooperation between the Air Force and the Navy to put that effort together. Dewey and Haas, with help from Andrew Chen, lead for the F-35 Reprogramming Center West at Point Mugu, held cake cuttings in Point Mugu and China Lake to celebrate the IOC declaration. The team has been running at full speed for a long time, Haas said. It's great to be able to look back and take a breather. Now, in another news story from the Naval Air Weapons Station at China Lake, here's a story submitted by Stacy Bailey of the NOC-WD Public Affairs Office. Several members of the Logistics and Industrial Operations Division, 6.0 and 6.7 Industrial and Logistic Maintenance Department, Fleet Weapons Support teams were honored during a ceremony at Naval Air Welfare Center Weapons Division on August 12th. 6.0 Director Danny Gresham and 6.7 Industrial and Logistics Maintenance Department Head Ken Bartles were joined by NOC-WD Vice Commander Carl Adina to present 9 honorees with certificates for service. Those included Daniel Wolfbarger and James Harmon, 40 years of service, Kelly Smith and Joseph Bohm, 30 years, Brian Bailey and Rich Hurd, 25 years, and John Icardo with 20 years of service to the government. Chris Holob receives the 2015 Fleet Weapons Support Team Rep of the Year Award. Al Buccarelli, a retired member of 6.7 Industrial and Logistics Maintenance Department, received an award for 42 years of service. The members are located at bases throughout the world and continental U.S., Gresham said. We recently appreciated their presence, and we certainly appreciate them and all the work they do for the fleet. Now in a story submitted by KZGN Field reporter Tanya Pyle, she reports from Fresno that nominations are sought for the Darrell Hildebrand Blueprint Leadership Award for Sustainable Development Projects, exemplifying the Blueprint Principles. 5 award subcategories recognized will be in 8 counties. The 5 categories include residential, commercial, mixed use, revitalization, downtown and/or historic districts, and the transportation enhancement. The counties eligible for awards are Kern County, San Joaquin, Merced, Fresno, Tulare, Stanislaus, Madera, and Kings counties. The purpose of the project is to encourage quality in planning and development by recognizing outstanding achievements and practices in the built environment. As a previous Blueprint Awards coordinator, it has been an honor to provide for the celebration of projects that improve the quality of life, as an integration of the Blueprint Smart Growth principles provide for places that improve and strengthen our existing communities. Enhancing amenities that make our region such a special place, said Rob Terry, Principal Regional Planner at Fresno Council of Governments. As a 2014 winner in the category of revitalization, the City of Waterford has been able to utilize their award by drawing community-wide attention to their downtown beautification project, which has helped foster economic and community vitality. Established in 2009 following the San Joaquin Valley Blueprint planning process, the Valley's 8 regional transportation planning agencies created an awards program to recognize sustainable development projects that follow and incorporate the 12 smart growth principles used as the basis of blueprint planning. The awards will be presented at the 11th Annual San Joaquin Valley Fall Policy Conference at Tenia Lodge at Yosemite on October 8, 2015. Nominations are open to all 8 counties of the area and are due by noon Friday, August 28th. For a full list of details on nomination criteria and how to apply, please visit valleyblueprint.org. Now, in KZGN's continuous effort to provide news and information you've asked for on local gas prices, here are today's gas prices. Since my last report last Wednesday, I noticed that prices went down slightly since then. As of this morning, Ridgecrest is ranging from $3.45 to $3.99. Lancaster is ranging from $3.29 to $3.99. The LA Valley area 353 to 379, and the Bishop area 379 to 399. We have one station coming in at the 345 figure and 4 stations with the 349 amount. Tune in Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays for updates. We at KZGN always suggest you shop locally to support our local economy. Remember, when you paying sales tax out of town, you are helping those cities pave their streets instead of here. Stay tuned for weather and sports after the break. Thanks for staying with us. Let's go to Keith for the weather.
Thank you, Tom. Tropical Depression 3C has formed southeast of Hawaii. The depression is forecast to strengthen as it moves towards the west or west-northwest in the next few days. Temperatures across the nation: Carolinas came in at 85, Georgia 84, Arkansas 77, Colorado 79, Arizona 93, and Los Angeles at 68. And for our forecast here in the IWV, going into the weekend, tonight will be mostly clear with a low around 71, south-southwest wind, 5 to 15 miles per hour with gusts as high as 20. Saturday will be sunny and hot with a high near 103, calm wind, south-southeast, 5 miles per hour. Saturday night, mostly clear with a low around 70, south wind, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Sunday, sunny and hot with a high near 103, north-northwest wind, 5 miles per hour. Sunday night, mostly clear with a low around 71, south-southwest wind, 5 to 10 miles per hour. And on Monday, sunny and hot with a high near 104, west-northwest wind, 5 miles per hour. And that is a look at your forecast. Now back to Tom and the rest of the KZGN News.
Thanks, Keith. Now, Tom Heck with sports.
And a very pleasant Friday afternoon to everyone. Let's start with the NFL. Johnny Manziel. Johnny Manziel was kind of a beleaguered figure last year. Set the bench most of the year, got a few opportunities, did not do very well, got into some trouble, had to go to drug rehab, but now looks like he's serious about football. Looked really good last night in the exhibition game, was 8 passes completed for 118 yards, threw a touchdown, also had a couple nice runs. So I think he's starting to get the system in the NFL. We'll have to see. Remember, Johnny Manziel should be a senior this year at Texas A&M. He's still a young guy. All right, the Angels, they lose to the White Sox. They break a 3-game losing streak, the White Sox do. The White Sox had 12 hits last night in that win. Now the Angels find themselves, as we wake up today, 2.5 games behind the Houston Astros. The Rangers 4 games out, but the Rangers have lost Josh Hamilton for at least a couple of weeks. He's on the 15-day disabled list with a knee problem. The Rangers just can't get healthy. So the West still interesting. Tonight, the Dodgers will go to Houston to open up a 3-game series. The Angels will be at home. They'll take on Toronto. Angels have struggled against left-handed pitching. They'll get David Price tonight for Toronto. That will not be easy. Okay, also on the scoreboard yesterday, the Pittsburgh Pirates win again. They're 25 games over 500. They beat the Giants. The Giants 3 games back of the Dodgers now. The Cubs, Arizona, the Red Sox, Miami, and Colorado all win. Colorado beat Washington. The Nationals are just putting themselves behind the 8 ball big time for the playoff spot. Okay, let's talk about Burroughs football. Friday night, 1 week away from tonight, it'll be Burroughs High School football opening game against Palmdale. Now, today, this afternoon, down in the Newhall area, they will scrimmage Sierra Linda, a team they scrimmaged last year up here. Final preparations, Todd Mather and the crew. Mather now starting his 5th year, has had some success here. Mather part of the championship years as an assistant with Jeff Steinberg, also a quarterback on the Division I level. Definitely a very good play caller. I look for good things this year with Burroughs. Now, 2 weeks from tonight, over at Tehachapi, then Burroughs will come home for weeks 3 and 4. They'll take on Paraclete and Garces. Then week 5, they'll go to Barstow. A tradition. Last year, Burroughs easily defeated Barstow. We'll see what happens again this year. All right, that's your sports for this Friday. Have a good weekend. Tom Heck for KZGN.
So that's the news for today. All of us at KZGN-TV know you have a choice in what you watch for your news. We all thank you for choosing KZGN-TV, Ridgecrest's only locally owned community TV station. Remember to stay with us now for Ridgecrest Talk coming up next.